It is here, the third annual AAW first round mock draft. What started as a podcast episode for Hurdle the Line in 2024 is now a culmination of four podcasts and one full season's worth of effort. All four Asleep at Work podcasts are represented in today's draft, but with eight different guests currently on the call, or are not actually eight different guests on the call. Hurdle the Line, College Football UK, Unsportsmanlike Conduct, and the Fantasy Den. This is going to go out on YouTube and each podcast feed, so all bases are covered. Before we kick off, I'd like to introduce you all to our 8 GMs, each of which have picked for four different franchises throughout this first round. A couple of them are not with us tonight, but they have completed their picks, so all 32 picks are in. Gents, introduce yourselves, let us know your name, the pod you represent, because this is going to go out to all four pod feeds, and the teams you are picking for. We'll go in draft order, so Tom, start us off, please.
Yeah, so my name's Tom. I am picking for the Raiders, the Chiefs, the Lions, and the Bears, and I'm representing Huddle the Line.
Lovely. Ollie was picking second. He's also from Hurdle the Line. He picked for the Jets, the Bengals, the Vikings, and the Bills. We'll get onto that Bengals pick in just a second. Liam also can't be with us. He's from the Fantasy Den. Cardinals, Dolphins, Panthers, and 49ers. Next up is Sam.
Yeah, so I'm Sam. I'm picking for the Titans, the Cowboys twice, and the Texans. I'm only picking for three teams, but the Celebi. And I'm just an amalgamation of all sorts,
You're
really.
all
So
of them.
Yeah.
I'm on
You're
all
just
of
like
them,
the
bar
bad
the
smell that hangs around
yeah.
all of the
I'm,
pods, aren't you,
I,
Sam?
I'm on all of them apart from the unsportsmanlike conduct, but I'm sure I'll end up making a feature at some point on that one as well, just to
Just
just
when
to
we're
annoy
winding the
Gary.
Rams up. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So anytime someone does say to me like, so yeah, I mean I get it. You're the face of the AAW, and I went, no, I'm not. Sam is.
Sam is
Sam
really.
is the
Yeah.
face of the AAW network. Chapman, who also can't be with us, he is from Hurdle the Line as well. Giants, Rams, Steelers, and the Chiefs' second pick. He unfortunately cannot be with us. Kane, over to you.
Yeah, hi, it's Sam Kian. I'm on the Fantasy Land podcast with Sam and Liam, which I know Liam's not here. And I'll be picking for the Cleveland Browns, the Baltimore Ravens, the Los Angeles Chargers, and the Miami Dolphins.
God, didn't you get the good ones there, Kian? Oh,
Nick.
Yeah, Nick Cosgrove, part of the college team. I'm picking for the Commanders, the Buccaneers, the Eagles, and the mighty New England Patriots.
And finally, Gary.
last but not least, we'll go with last but not least. Gary, or otherwise known as Groovy, that one. Yeah, you've seen it all over the place. I'm here. I have the joy of picking the Saints, the Jets, the second Browns pick, and unfortunately the reigning Super Bowl champion Seahawks pick at the end.
You're really excited for that one, aren't you, Gary?
Really chuffed for getting the Seahawks pick at the end. Really was, yeah. I am here representing the College Football UK podcast and the face or the unfortunate new addition to the network, which is the Unsportsmanlike Conduct, which will be causing no end of mayhem as we get up to speed.
Yeah. The Unsportsmanlike Conduct, for anyone who hasn't heard it, I was told it was going to be a bit chaotic, little bit of humour, little bit of banter. 30 seconds it took for Deshaun Watson's name to come up. No, 12 seconds. 12 seconds it took for Deshaun Watson to get a mention. And
it wasn't particularly positive mention either.
Well, I was gonna.
How long did it take you to talk about James Pierce Jr.? That's what I want to know.
That name's come up yet, has it?
Not yet. I mean, it might be the next. That might be a target for tomorrow's show.
There you go. Topical conversation.
Topical conversations. There might well be a few topical ones that will get thrown in. We may talk about some topical ones tonight. Who knows?
Yes, we probably will. Just a couple of bits before we start. I foolishly decided to doubt the power of the team that is in front of me and think it'll take us a little while to actually get this draft done. So we started it at the beginning of the month, and 2 days later we were done.
Yeah.
Right. 2 days later, you were all absolutely brilliant, organized, ready to go. And then we've just had to sit here waiting with this draft done for 3 weeks. We get through 3
Second
weeks.
guessing ourselves, rethinking all the picks we made, probably thinking, should I have done that? But I'm sure we'll get into some of those fun and games.
3 weeks we get through, and I'm sat there like we're so close now. We've got it. We're in the money.
Nailed it.
And then on Sunday, this weekend, Sexy Dexy gets traded, and one of the picks is now not one of the picks because the Bengals are no longer picking at 10. However, Ollie has graciously...
Was it the first time since 95 or something they're not having a first round pick? Read that somewhere or something. It's been a long time.
They're just taking a leaf out of the Rams, but we don't want first
picks. What is it? What was the title? The Rams in their draft?
I mean, to be fair, I'm getting a bit of a nosebleed about how high we're picking, to be honest.
Yeah.
In all honesty, Sam, I expect you to be picking higher than that. I think you might just package them all together and go all in.
No, not a chance. Well, there is a chance, but no.
I think you might trade down, to be honest.
I reckon the Chiefs are going to take a swing.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the Chiefs are making a swing at 3.
So
I agree with you.
Okay, so let's see. But we got 3 weeks. Nothing
That's for
happened,
Thursday.
and we look like we're in the clear. Sexy Dexy gets traded, and all of a sudden, 2 days to go, like one of the picks. We have graciously decided to stick with the picks as we know them from 10. So as it stands, it is the Bengals picking at 10. Maybe this player goes 10th anyway. We don't know. The lads have a maximum of 45 seconds to explain their pick once it is in the ether. And every 8 picks, we'll have like a little break down what's just happened. With that in mind,
that scared the crap out.
It's usually me that comes up with the random jingles, but wow.
Yeah, I genuinely thought it was you, Gary.
But then you saw my face going, what the frick is that?
Anyone who is familiar with the College Football UK podcast, Gary doesn't just add sound effects, he does his own as well. For the reason that we don't add a news segment into things like this either. With that in mind, the first pick is in, and we will hand over to the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, so with the first pick in the AAW Network 2026 mock draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Fernando Mendoza, quarterback out of Indiana. What a surprise that is.
No.
Oh my God, everyone is gobsmacked. I can see mouths agape. There's not really much to say. I mean, 6'5", best QB prospect in this draft, Heisman Trophy winner, cerebral quarterback. Also kind of showed his toughness as well in the college football playoffs. Prototypical pocket passer, got that rare accuracy, and plays big in the big moments. And it's exactly what the Las Vegas Raiders need. As much as I hate saying it as a Chiefs fan, so.
The least surprising pick of all picks, I think. I think we've known that this was been the picks since January.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on to pick 2. You can have we can have our Rich Eisman, Mel Kiper moments in a minute. On to pick 2.
Yes. So with the second pick, the New York Jets will select Arvell Reese, linebacker out of Ohio State. There's a lot of talk about David Bailey potentially going here. They're obviously going defense because, they need kind of everything but O-line. But, Arvell Reese has the tools to be the best edge rusher in this class, the versatility, athleticism, physical profile, and the production to pair with kind of the projection of what kind of player he could be. So instead of taking, the safe pick in David Bailey, they're going for the high upside of Arvell Reese.
Lovely. And if you are unsure, Ollie, with Ollie not being able to make it, Tom will be picking on behalf of Ollie. These picks have already been made weeks in advance, so the justification has been provided. I'll read out Liam's. So, wait, where'd it go? There we go. With the third pick In the AAW first round mock draft, the Arizona Cardinals are selecting David Bailey, edge from Texas Tech. So Liam says, I can see the Cardinals trading back from the number 3 pick of the 2026 draft and adding an extra later first round pick with a few extra picks to help fill the gaps they have. However, assuming they don't trade back, I think they fill one of their much needed gaps with one of the leading edge talents in this draft. With Campbell coming back on a 1-year deal, it's perfect for Bailey to come in and find his feet in the NFL, learning from one of the greats at the position. If the Cardinals stay put at number 3, Bailey would be a very wise pickup.
Can't argue with that.
On to Sam, pick number 4.
Yeah, with the 4th pick, the Tennessee Titans are taking. This is going to be the first probably controversial pick with Jeremiah Love, running back out of Notre Dame.
Reach.
I mean, the overall thing for this is obviously I know that running back is not a desirable pick, and they probably do have needs in other places, especially in the O line. But I just feel that with the available talent in terms of from an offensive perspective, whether that be quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, I do think there is a limit to what's available in terms of elite stardom. And I think that what Jeremiah Love would add to that passing and running game, especially, would not only help out Cam Ward a lot, but would also just provide him with something to be able to work with.
Lovely. Chapman is not available. We have not had the reasonings sent in, so I'll just read the pick out. The New York Giants with the 5th pick select Francis Mauigoa, offensive tackle out of Miami. And then it's over to pick number 6.
Yeah, so with pick 6, I've got the Cleveland Browns taking Carnell Tate, wide receiver out of Ohio State. With the Browns, I think there's 2 obvious needs. It's either offensive line or receiver. With Marigoa just going to pick before, here we are with Carnell Tate. I think kind of the quarterback situation is is still a mess in Cleveland. It could be, like we said, Deshaun Watson starting, Shador Sanders, me or you. Who knows? But I think ultimately, Carnell Tate's an upgrade on Jerry Judah. He's got elite hands, a very good route runner. I know there's questions that he might not even be the best wide receiver in the draft, but he might be the safest, and that's why I've Cleveland taken.
Lovely. On to pick 7.
Yes, with pick 7, the Washington Commanders select Ohio State linebacker Sonny Styles Jr. This guy's a no-brainer, generational talent, big, fast. I genuinely don't think he's going to be available here at 7, so I think he's going to have gone earlier. So it's a little bit sort of, yeah, he's there, so I've taken him. But yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to say about this guy because he can do it all.
Yep.
Yep.
Day 1
Lovely.
green dot starter, isn't he?
Lovely. And then to cap us off at a quarter of the way through, Gary.
Right, and the 8th pick of the 2026 Sleep at Work Network 2020 mock draft. New Orleans Saints take Ruben Bain Jr., defensive tackle, defensive end from Miami. Literally a wrecking ball. If you watch any tape with Miami, this guy's just a wrecking ball on that defensive line. Gets to the quarterback, gets the edge, bends. There are some issues around his size. There are some other issues in regards to which came out subsequent to the draft being sort of finalized our side when some news broke about some old news about him that may or may not affect his draft stock. We've talked about it on the college podcast. Teams have known about this for weeks and months. This is not new. This is not anything big. We talked about it. This is a sheer accident. It happens when you're kids. Something's happened. It's been written off by everybody, barring the media, who have somehow now only just found about it. And therefore, this guy is just the best available player for the Saints right now, so they have to take him.
Yep. Okay, so appreciate it. We are a quarter of the way through. We've had Fernando Mendoza, Arvell Reese, David Bailey, Jeremiah Love, Francis Marigold, Carnell Tate, Sonny Styles, and Ruben Bain Jr. I think the first place to start off here is arguably the most controversial. Yes, Sam, I'm about to call you out. Running back taken at number 4 overall. But I will throw this
I don't
out.
know
This
if
is
that's the
not
most
just
controversial take in the first 8, to be honest.
that, but I'm going to throw this one out. That's not just any running back.
Mhm.
That's Jeremiah Love. Nick, I'm going to throw this to you first. You are a Notre Dame fan. You have watched
Yes.
Jeremiah Love a lot more than anyone else. What do you reckon about him going number 4 overall as a running back?
Um, the I think that's probably as low as he is going to go. I think if Arizona don't trade out, and because someone could quite easily trade in and jump and get him at 3, but
Tottenham's
to
team.
put Jeremiah Love with Cam Ward and the speed that it gives them and the fluidity it gives them off the line, he's not just a running back; he's a wide receiver as well. That's Jaden Price suffered for the fact that because Love could do 2 jobs, Jaden Price didn't get as much game time, and that's unfortunate. But you know, I've got no issue with Jeremiah Love at 4. If someone had taken him at 3, I would say, yep, go for it, because he is the second best player in the draft for me.
Yep.
Second best. Would you? Anyone in disagreement with this?
Yeah.
Go on, Tom.
Me. The only reason I say that, I agree with what you said, Nick, in terms of what he brings to the table. I just think the Titans have bigger needs. I think offensive tackle was a massive need for them. And sure enough, making it so that they can actually protect Cam Ward, who was, on his backside a lot in his first year, I think is more important in the long run for the franchise than taking Love at 4 personally.
I think the
Yeah.
pick will all depend on what the Cardinals decide to do.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
if the
true.
Cardinals, I think if the Cardinals decide to trade out
Out
and
down.
someone comes in and takes Love, then it takes their decision out of their hands, because
Hmm.
it means they then have to then go as a tackle, which probably then would see Mawigo will probably
I'll
go
go
at
there.
4.
Hmm.
So I think it's all dependent on that. I when I made this pick, I kind of went off the basis that this is probably what the Titans are going to do,
Yeah.
rather than
Yeah.
what should the Titans do.
Yeah. And also I agree. I think the Titans, they got to look at the board and go, yeah, we've got a need at tackle, but we can probably pick one up in the later rounds. Maybe not one of the top guys,
Hmm.
but it's a deep draft. It's not a great draft, and we've all said this before. I don't know if we've had this conversation yet, but the draft is very top heavy, and it's not great even at being top heavy. So the Titans will probably be able to pick up a couple of linemen in the second or third rounds. If they're sitting there and Love is still on the board, it'll be tough for them to pass up, as Nick says, the second best player in this draft. It's going to be tough to go,
Yeah.
he's right there. He's a foundational piece. Cam Ward's only in his second year. This guy can be around for a few years. We can find other pieces later on. We can't really pass up on the generational talent at running back / wide receiver. He is a 3-down starting back. This is the thing. He's not going to come in and do 2 down to be out. He's a 3-down starter.
I think that's the thing, is that I think as much as, I mean, if depending on what the Titans decide to do, if they did decide to go with Jeremiah Love, I know that there are a number of teams that are looking at tackles this year, especially in the first round, but they could always package a deal to get back in the first to take someone in that late. But when we're sort of looking at like a
28, 29 somewhere.
those sorts of things, I think that would be
Don't talk
a
about that
good
yet.
option.
I got one more thing as well on that.
Go on.
Do you trust the Tennessee Titans to develop Jeremiah Love?
No.
No,
I don't.
Absolutely not.
the NFL's not a development league. The NFL isn't a development league. The players don't develop in the NFL. They bounce around and they trade. They don't develop further. He's ready to go now, though. That's the thing. He's a day one starter. He doesn't need that much more development. He just needs to get a bit bigger and get used to getting hit by bigger, stronger blokes.
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. Like, is he going to get ground down by playing in that Tennessee offense? That's what I mean, I guess.
Yeah, the risk is
They'll
Ashton
still-
Genty 2.0, right?
Yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah,
They'll still have like Tony Pollard there, so they do have someone who could help lighten the load a little bit.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about. I mean, you got some flack off this by
I
our
did,
resident
yeah.
Browns fan
I've been having
for
nightmares about it.
taking Carnell Tate at number 6. Now, a couple of weeks ago when we did the college pod, I text our resident. Well, we have 2 resident Browns fan, but the prominent, longest serving resident Browns fan, most opinionated resident Browns fan as well, who would have loved to have been here to do
Opinionated Browns fan. Who would
to
have thought it?
say
He would have loved to have been here right now.
to say
He'd be
I
going
I,
off,
mess-
wouldn't he?
I messaged him on the day we were doing wide receivers and tight ends on the college pod and just said, because he's also obviously a fan of that university.
You almost said it then. You
South of
almost
Michigan.
said it.
I'm not gonna. I ain't giving anyone the satisfaction. He's a fan of the university down south. And I said, you're gonna enjoy my take on Carnell Tate because you can just pin me down as a hater, as he's not my favorite. So I'll take on the position for early here. In my opinion, not the number 1 wide receiver in the draft. Definitely, in my opinion, not the most talented wide receiver in the draft. But as you said, potentially the most reliable. Doesn't have the injury history. What are you still? And given that Jordan Tyson has had the clearance and
Yeah.
push from NFL scouts since we made the draft, do you stand on that Carnell Tate pick, and are you happy with where you've gone there as
I
well for the
mean,
Browns?
ultimately, yeah. So I know, like you said, obviously, kind of everything around Jordan Tyson this week's been out. He's going to go in the top 10. He might even go 10 to the Giants. He's healthy. And we've seen a few clips from his pro day and stuff. But ultimately, he has still got that injury history. And it's not like it's just a few knocks here or there. Like, these are big injuries. And granted, Carnell Tate might not be as talented as Jordan Tyson. He might not be as talented as Makai Lemon, but we don't really know what Makai Lemon kind of is going to be in the NFL. Is he just going to be out the slot? We don't know. So ultimately, I agree. He might not be the talent. Like like I said, so I can't speak. He's not particularly fast, but his hands are elite. His route running's elite. And I think most importantly, I know you're not going to want to hear this, but Ohio do just produce elite wide receivers. It's the safest pick.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's 6 first-round wide receivers in the last 5 years, and next year they're about to have another one in Jeremiah Smith.
That might be the best of all of them.
That might be the best of all of them. The worst is still yet to come. Unfortunately, do. Every single one of them has a losing record to Michigan, though. Let's throw that one out there real quick and we can move on. The last one I want to kind of bring up here in particular, that top 3 is definitely solid and consistently looks like the top 3 in the draft anyway for months. Fernando Mendoza, I think we said off camera, Tom, you could have just said that pick, didn't have to say anything. Everyone knows it, it's happening. Worst kept secret in the NFL. Reuben Bain Jr., you brought it up, Gary. We'll mention it one more time. Yes, something has come out about him in the last couple of weeks. That Nick actually broke 2 years ago on the college pod, but no one gives him the plaudits for.
Just saying. Gave him flowers for that last week.
So, does anyone see Reuben Bain Jr.'s stock falling? Has it gone? Bear in mind, if it's gone, it actually went a couple of months ago when NFL teams knew about it. Excuse me. And is Howie Roseman behind it yet again for the fall of someone to go to the Eagles?
Well, 40-23 to the Eagles.
Yeah. Yes, Howie Roseman's behind it. Is he going to fall any further than where he has already fallen in NFL teams' draft boards? No. He's where he's been drafted, he's been graded. He is at that position where he will get drafted no matter what. Whether or not it's 8 to the Saints, don't know. I don't really know if the Saints will take this guy, to be honest, with everything else on the board that may or may not happen. He's probably going to go 11. I got a feeling he might go 11, in all honesty.
Yeah.
To the Dolphins.
Yeah. I got a feeling either, but I don't know if the Dolphins will still be there at 11. This is one of those weird.
Yeah.
He's got a feeling to me that with what the Giants have done and stuff like that, I don't know if the Dolphins are going to be the one who draft him. I think it potentially he may end up at the Cardinals because the Cardinals trade away and blah, 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 blah. I don't think he's going to drop any further than the NFL teams have already decided he is. Not because of this old news that's come out. And as we said on the pod, it's not really news. It's an unfortunate accident that happened. He's not to blame. He just happened to be there. Yes, it's horrible what's happened, but unfortunate. It's one of those unfortunate accidents. And that's really it.
Right. We're ready for another run.
No, I want to talk about Chapman's pick at 5.
Right, go on then. I'll throw a quick.
No. I mean, I know the Giants have got a new GM and everything else. There's no way that they're taking Franny Mayer over there. No way. They don't need. No, that is Sonny. As Nick says, Washington Commanders have lucked into Sonny Styles there. I do not see Sonny Styles dropping to the Commanders. He's got Giants written all over him. He should go at 5.
They keep saying that they don't want him, but that also probably means that they just want him, right?
That means we're going to get somewhere else. No, honestly,
Is this that they don't want him, or is this Brandon being I never wanted?
Oh yeah, I never wanted Keelcombe.
Yeah, I never wanted him.
Because those are two very different. I didn't want him. So
that's my thought process on that first 8. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, with Maui Garth, yeah,
it's not a bad pick. He'll do well, but I think and obviously, it's in hindsight, I suppose, a little bit of looking at it now. That the Giants are picking at 5 and 10. The Giants have the capability to do something at 5 and 10, which will give them a core of their starting defense of 2 top 10 players from one university who already know how to play with each other, already know how each other works. It would be negligent of the Giants not to take Styles at 5 and who we see the Bengals take at 10.
Yeah. Right. Are we ready for another run now?
Yeah.
Right.
Pick number 9. Family.
Pick number 9.
Yes. So with the 9th pick in the AAW 2026 NFL mock draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Mansour Delane, the cornerback out of LSU. So why him? So he kind of fits a prototypical Spags corner. He's rangy. He can play in press man coverage, which you need as a part of Spags defense. Also, big need for Casey with them trading away Trent McDuffie, which I'm sure Sam's happy about, as well as basically letting their whole entire secondary leave in free agency. So it's a massive need for them, and he just kind of fits the profile of what the Chiefs defense would need.
Lovely.
And then on to number 10, which obviously we've got as the Bengals, but they traded it to the Giants. And Ollie has picked Caleb Downs, safety out of Ohio State, in this position. The main things Ollie said about this one was, just one of the smartest players to enter the draft in recent memory, a very cerebral guy. Anyone that starting as a freshman for Alabama and Nick Saban is going to be smart. For him to do that and then go to Ohio State, I think he's had nearly 300 tackles in college, so absolute beast. And one of the best players in the draft. So why wouldn't you pick him at 10?
Yeah. Perfect. So again, I'll pick for Liam. He was picking with the 11th pick in the 2026 AAW first round mock draft. The Miami Dolphins take Mekhi Lemon, wide receiver out of USC. The Finns desperately need some pass catchers in 2026 draft. If they do what the fans want, they will address this with their first pick of the draft, and with Carnell Tate off the board, they take the next most reliable receiver of the draft in Lemon. He may not have as high a ceiling as someone like a Jordan Tyson, but he does not have the injury concerns that come with Tyson. He will instantly become the Finns' second target behind Achane. If the Finns don't take a wide receiver, then they should look at helping the offensive line to keep Willis upright. Moving on to Sam.
Okay, so with the 12th pick, the Dallas Cowboys take Jamon McCoy. Again, it's a positional need. They do need cornerbacks. I think is probably one of their biggest need, and I think unless the only reason I think they wouldn't take McCoy, although obviously his injury history is a concern, I still think that he is one of the best cornerbacks coming out of this draft class. His ability is it's so good. It's a shame that the injuries are what I think could potentially have dropped him. I think he could have easily been the number one cornerback off the board had it not been for his injuries. And I think at the moment, unless they could get lucky and have someone like a Sonny Styles drop down to that pick, I think they have to take a cornerback.
Yeah. Chapman came in the 13th pick for the Los Angeles Rams with Spencer Fano, offensive tackle from Utah. Kian, over to you.
Yeah, I think at pick 14, I've got the Baltimore Ravens selecting Jordan Tyson, wide receiver at Arizona State. It's just a very Baltimore thing to happen. I know we kind of said it when I picked him, where someone who's far too good to be where they are ends up falling to Baltimore. Whether it was Kyle Hamilton, it's happened with Malachi Starks, but it's now Jordan Tyson. Ultimately, I don't think he's going to be here at 14 come Thursday night, but he was, so we're taking him. It's a big upgrade for Baltimore wide receiver. You get Lamar Jackson, his new best weapon, because he's just better than Zay Flowers. And like we kind of picked on earlier, this probably is the wide receiver one in this draft class based on talent. But I was like I said, he's had his health concerns, but fingers crossed, we're in the past, in the past, sorry, and Baltimore get winning the draft again.
Lovely. Over to Nick.
Right, Buccaneers. I've selected Vega Leone. Reason being is twofold. One, I was in San Francisco at the time, and therefore, with an 8-hour time difference, I think I made this pick at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and so I blame the fact that I was sleepy. Because had I noticed that Kenyon Sadiq was still on the board, I would have selected Kenyon Sadiq. However, what I will say with regards to Leone, he is absolutely amazing in his position, top of his position in this class. The quality of tight end depth means that the Buccaneers can probably afford to get the best guard, which is a need, and pick up a tight end in the second. Whereas if they try and flip that the other way round, the quality of guard that they're going to be getting probably means they're actually picking a guard in like round 3 or round 4. So I think while originally I was going to go down a different route, I think it makes more sense based on the current structure to do it this way. So I've decided to fill their second need before their first need.
Okay, lovely. Gary, bring us home, get us to the halfway point.
This one will cause some issues. In the 16th pick of the 2026 draft, the New York Jets take Ty Simpson, quarterback out of Alabama. The consensus
I'll let you have
second,
more than 45 seconds for this
45
one.
seconds on this one.
Explaining to do.
Now I have to explain this one. I think Ty Simpson is a late first round, maybe early second round. However, we were not allowed trading in this draft, and I think this would have been a trade possibility for later on. Ty Simpson is the second best quarterback coming out of the draft this year. He's steady. He's played at Alabama. He knows what he's doing. The Jets are in dire need of something, everything. Who knows what the Jets are going to do? It's literally the only pick that I thought. I mean, they could take other people, but considering the way the board had fallen and the fact that they weren't picking any later, this was the time that the Jets would make the Jets move, because the Jets are going to Jets during this draft and do something like this anyway.
Okay, lovely. Thank you. For those of you on video platforms, you will have seen it. If you haven't, Nick has bounced. We do have justification for his last two picks, so if anyone wants to take up them as we get through them. But we are at the halfway point of the first round of the 2026 mock draft. I'm going to start this conversation off by seeing who was paying attention in the chat today. Two of you were playing part of this chat. In the top 10, that officially counts at 4 players from the team down south going in the top 10. That has only ever happened twice before in draft history. Who were the two schools to have 4 players go in the top 10 of the same draft.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame was one of them.
Michigan State.
Michigan State. Notre Dame in 1945, Michigan State in 1967. It hasn't happened for 59 years. Could we
It's
see
due.
it again this year? Not sure, especially now that top 10 pick has changed. Well, that 10th overall pick has changed. We will see. Well done, by the way. I'm impressed with that. With you paying attention throughout the day. Makai Lemon and Jordan Tyson both finally off the board. Obviously, it's gone Lemon over Tyson. Ken, you said Tyson probably should not be on the board still at 14. Again, given what's gone on over the last week or so with Jordan Tyson's workouts, do we expect Lemon to go ahead of him still?
No. It depends. Kind of like, unless someone is like utterly in love with Mackay Lemon and trades in kind of to the top 10 as well to try and get him, I can't see it. Especially like you said, with the Giants pick at 10, whether they stay or trade it, I generally do think that maybe Jordan Tyson range if it's not Caleb Downs, obviously. But yeah, like I said, I don't envision don't see him being there at 14 at all. I can't envision that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think it would have
he's
been
certainly
there.
not getting past 13, I can tell you that.
Yeah. That would have been it. If the Rams would snap the hand off if he's still sitting on
Yeah.
13.
Are we allowed to question somebody's picks or no?
Yeah.
You are, but I want to give a fun little piece of information about that run. First pick of the run, the Chiefs were picked by a Chiefs fan. The third pick of that run, the Dolphins were picked for by a Dolphins fan. And the fifth pick of that run, the Rams were picked. It was originally the Falcons picked for by a Falcons fan for the Rams instead. So there's a little bit of twist there in the middle. If you want to question a pick, go for it. Apart from not Jordan Tyson. Don't pick on Ty Simpson just yet. We're all going to gang up on Gary.
No, I wasn't going to pick. I was actually going to pick, and I'm sorry to come at you, Ken.
You know what I mean?
It's Vega Ioane. He got to the Bucks here with Nick.
Yeah.
But I just think he's built to be a Baltimore Raven, as opposed to Jordan. Like, I understand Jordan Tyson, so talented.
BPA, right? But I get that if Tyson was sitting there for Keon,
obviously,
he had to have taken it.
Yeah, you have to take it. That's for sure.
I mean, ultimately, before we had my pick, well, obviously, like before we did the draft, I initially put Vega Yone or Spencer Faddo. One of them ones where if someone that good falls, you just take him. So I didn't want them to think, oh, he's just taking 2 wide receivers. But if the quality is there, I just thought, I'm taking it. He's not.
No, I get that. I get that from the pick for sure.
But I agree with you, Tom. I think Ioane has got Ravens football written all over him, hasn't he? He's just a mauler, just a beast of a man.
Yeah,
he definitely will fit that sort of what the Ravens are all about.
Well, I think there are 2 things though that fit the Ravens here. One of them is Vega Ioane, and the other one is having a generational, potentially wide receiver just fall into the laps. Right?
Yeah,
it's the same with the Eagles and defensive linemen /
and defensive backs
and defensive backs. You one just falls on your lap, and it just happens because.
But they barely ever get good wide receivers. Like, they barely ever draft good wide receivers, Baltimore. But like, they obviously drafted Zay Flowers, and he's blossomed into a good receiver. He had over 1,000 yards last year, I know. And he was a Pro Bowler I think, last year.
Oh, yeah.
But before that, like, they just went through a run of wide receivers that just did not work.
Just whiffing on wide receivers, isn't they?
Yeah, basically. Like Hollywood Brown and
Rashad Bateman. He was all right though.
He's okay.
Bateman was all right.
It's okay.
Yeah.
He suffered from injuries, I think, was the biggest thing for him.
Yeah. Well, I want to say, coming onto it now. Now, this has, if anyone remembers the 2024 Hurdle the Line mock draft, there was a pick at 12, which we laughed at the time. And then it bloody happened where Bo Nix got picked at the Broncos to 12, and everyone sat on that podcast and went, that's not going to happen, you silly Billy. You silly Billy. And then we all sit there as the Denver Broncos pick Bo Nix and go, God damn it, the guy was a genius. He was right. Um, for a
I don't.
second, um, I Ty Simpson at 16. I get where you're coming from in the whole kind of there are no trades in this. The draft order's set.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a possibility. But even then, just like I just seeing Ty Simpson at 16 send something down my spine that just doesn't feel nice.
Mm.
It made me sick when I put it in, but I only put it in because it's like it's the Jets. The Jets are good
Mm.
Jets, but it's too high for them. But they can't trade back at 27, 28 because they weren't allowing trades, and therefore they have to pull the trigger because they've got Gino and uh,
The thing is that it's like you say, it's one of those where I think that if they were to if we'd
if
have been
that was
able to do
24
more,
or 26, then
I,
nobody would
to
be
be
raising an eyebrow at that sort of pick. I
to
don't
be
think.
honest, I can see him going at 34 to the Jets. Like that would be a reasonable thing. Like him dropping out of the
Mm.
first. Like we saw with Will Levis. Like
Hmm.
I think everyone was expecting him to go in the first round, and then it seemed to he just seemed to drift away, and then got picked by the Titans. And that's how I can see Ty Simpson going.
Yeah, I
What
could see if they don't come in and get him at the end of the first for the fifth year option, as we talked about on the college pod.
Mm.
I can see him either if he doesn't go by 34, he's not going until 110. He's going to be
Yeah,
either
the
then or he's way down.
I mean they could quite easily jump up to the Seahawks pick and just take him at 32, and then
I
Seahawks,
think
you
they
still
will.
get
Patriots,
that.
see somewhere in
Yeah,
that sort of
I
yeah.
I think that could potentially be likely. You might, or I think they're watching the board fall because this is the Jets. If you want a Jets are gonna jet, this is how they're gonna do it.
mm.
They're gonna
Mm.
say, "Oh, brilliant! It's gonna fall to us at 34." Then the Cardinals come in,
Yeah, take him at 27 or
take him
something
at
or
32.
29.
The Cardinals do a deal with the Seahawks or the Patriots or something. Take him at 31, and then Aaron
Jets are
Yeah,
Glenn's
like
the
just
Jets are
shrugging,
left with
going, "What
Wilson,
the."
Jets are left with Gino and
and then end up taking Wilson because
Drew
why not?
Aller at they'll
Or
take
sit
Drew
there and go,
Aller at 34. Yeah.
The dead carcass of Geno Smith, basically.
yeah.
Yeah,
I reckon if that happens, you get to the end of the draft, the Jets just don't bother. They'll go, we'll get our quarterback next year. You will
Mm.
find within, I reckon, a week of that
tank for
happening,
Gabriel.
Arch Manning,
Mm.
Still in
Dante
Gabriel.
Moore, all of those lads.
Oh no, he's already
Get,
gone. Sorry, yeah,
he's gone
Dante
to
Moore.
Gabriel's
Came
at the
out.
Browns.
So,
Um,
although it's
Arch
easy to
Manning,
forget that he's at the Browns because he's got
Arch Manning,
78 of them
Dante
there.
Moore will be filing whatever lawsuit they can to stay
Stay in
in
college.
the
Stay in college one
NCAA
more
for
year.
another year.
Please let us
Um,
play for 7 years.
So what you're
so
saying is
like
they're
that.
going to end up taking Trinidad Chambliss?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's it. That's it.
Yeah, because
Chambliss is finally coming
he
out.
can't apply
Yeah.
anymore. He can't get any more exemptions
Yeah,
unless he busts,
Potter.
unless Chambliss goes, oh, if I blow a knee in spring practice, I get another red shirt year, right?
So
And even then, it's like it's that or the Jets.
He must
on,
absolutely love college football. Telling you, Jeff.
on
He probably likes the nil money. To be fair,
The
on
nil
that
money's definitely making it worthwhile.
on that note, Trinidad Chambliss has just said he's going to the CFL instead. Um,
Anything
so
but the Jets.
Anything
Anything
but,
but the
yeah.
Jets.
right, okay. Are we ready for
Yeah.
another run? I have to
Yes.
do it.
Oh, this will be a
Yeah.
fun one as well. The end of this one.
Okay, there we go. I'm so glad I just get to do this now.
I
Okay,
don't know where you
starting
found
with
that.
no pressure, picking for the Detroit Lions. Get us going, Tom.
Yeah, no pressure. Been handed over from the Ultra Lions fan himself. But with pick 17 of the 2026 AAW mock draft, the Detroit Lions select Monroe Freeland, offensive tackle out of Georgia. Detroit's in need of O-line help ever since Frank Ragnow retired. Graham Glasnow, has he been released?
Glasgow's been released. Taylor Decker's out the building.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So there's big need for O-line help there. Um, and with the changes on O-line in the offseason, Monroe Freeland, high ceiling, great frame and length, quickness, agility, and he's also perfect for a zone-heavy run scheme, which is perfect for the Lions and how they play as well. So he's not quite the finished product, but you can't pass on that rare size, length, and athletic ability with a high ceiling as well. So I just think that's a good pick for the Lions.
Lovely. Next up.
Next up, with the 18th pick, the Minnesota Vikings select Emmanuel McNeil Warren, safety out of Toledo. So Ollie made this pick. There was a lot of people projecting Dylan Thieneman here as well, but Ollie made his justification. So obviously the Vikings are in desperate need of a safety, especially with Harrison Smith likely retiring. And he thinks he's a better fit than Thieneman for Brian Flores' defense. If you look at kind of the way that the scheme runs, they kind of use interchangeable safeties, kind of hybrid, and that's something that Emmanuel McNeil Warren does that Dylan Thieneman can't do as much. And he would be a great big nickel in the NFL. You look at the NFL and the way that it's going. You got Nick Monwari, you got Carl Hamilton, and Brian Flores will be hoping Emmanuel McNeil Warren is his version of that.
Yeah. Okay. So
Stick a pin on that. We'll come back to that.
Well, with the 19th pick in the AAW mock draft, the Carolina Panthers select Dylan Thieneman, safety from Oregon. There we go. This is a big need for the Panthers, and I think Thieneman is a very solid choice for the Panthers. He isn't the sexy pick, and I'm sure the fans would like another wide receiver to come into that room. But I think this is a smart play for years to come. Not really too much else to say about this pick. That is from Liam, and given the fact that I had over 20 seconds left, I just want to add this. The white corner is back. We are so back, lads. Anyway, moving on.
Defensive back, but we'll move on.
Sam.
Yeah, so with the 20th pick, again, I'm picking for the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know who shoved this on me, but
You must have stood in something.
yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a long-term attack on me for the whole Max Crosby thing. I still think that you're out to get me for that. But with the 20th pick, the Dallas Cowboys take TJ Parker, edge. The edge rusher, I think, is he out of Clemson? I can't remember which. Yeah, Clemson. Reason for picking this is they didn't really replace Micah Parsons when they lost him in the trade to the Packers, and I think they need someone to fill up that defensive line. I think TJ Parker is sort of a very underrated edge rusher. I think his size is good. He's got a very explosive sort of first step. He's a natural pass rush ability. Probably the only thing that probably affects him is the fact that he has a lot of traits, but isn't necessarily the finished article. I think somewhere going like Dallas, I think that could really benefit him, as well as giving the Cowboys more added parts to their defensive line, which is looking pretty shook up at the moment.
Pretty bare. Yeah, Cowboys pretty bare.
With the 21st pick in the draft for the Steelers, Chapman selected Keldrick Falk, defensive end from Auburn. Kian, you're next up.
Yeah, so at pick 22, I've got the Chargers picking Akeem Bezador, defensive end Miami. I'll be honest, when we was doing this, Keldrick Falk was my pick. Typically went the pick before, so I thought, right, we'll go with Akeem Bezador. Obviously, kind of, I know a lot of the concerns are he is 25, he's an older prospect, but I think ultimately the Chargers need playmakers on this defense, and that's what he has. He's a big physical edge rusher, going to a win-down team. Obviously, I know he played with Ruben Bain, obviously kind of last collegiate season, so that certainly helps his stock and made him look a wee bit better. I do think the Chargers could also address O-line here, but ultimately I went with Akeem Matador. I think he's kind of, out of the players we're looking at now, he is the highest floor player, and we may not have some of the upside of some of the edge rushers, like I say, like a Cassius Howard, who might go a bit later on. But I think it's a safe pick, and ultimately it makes the Chargers defense better from day dot.
Excellent. Does anyone want to take on the next pick for Nick?
Sure.
Yeah, so number
Good.
23, the Eagles are picking defensive edge Cassius Howell. Cassius Howell comes out of Texas A&M. They've got a need. They need edge defenders. As Keon said, he's probably the next one off, or he's got a higher ceiling, but he's not as polished. The floor is slightly lower on him right now. However, if the Eagles need an edge now, they need to do it now because the drop off after this guy is significant. The next edge rusher isn't anywhere near on the plane of these guys. So the edge, they have to take this one now, and he's the right now pick. He's on the board. You got to take him.
Yeah. And then Gary, see us out.
This pick, yeah, I'll pick it and I'll say it's the 24th pick. The Cleveland Browns are taking Brandon Cisse, a cornerback out of South Carolina. This was a whiff on my part. But Brandon Cisse is a cornerback. Next one off the road. There's a deep quarterback draft this season. There's some good cornerbacks. This was the next one. He's lengthy. He's got all the traits that will make him an NFL cornerback. And he's a good, solid defender. However, this pick was a whiff because I should have picked somebody else who I didn't even realize was still on the board at the time.
Yeah. And it was my fault for you not reading, apparently. I love that.
Well, you didn't let me. Yeah, suddenly somebody else made a mistake 3 picks later, and you said, "Yeah, you can change it if you want." And I was like, "Hey, a minute ago,
someone else.
Mine.
The thing
in
is,
all fairness, you could have asked and you didn't. It's your own fault.
And also, you had to be aware because Tom was ready to snipe straight after you and keep the draft going. You just don't have the time to think when Tom's right behind you when you make that pick. Anyway, right. So what I want to say about this run, we'll start off with we have our first run off the board: defensive end, defensive end, defensive end, defensive end. And as Gary, you've alluded to there with Cassius Howell, as one comes off the board. Once Cassius Howell's got, once those 4 are gone, you're kind of done there in defensive ends for a little while.
Yeah.
Makes sense that they all just start to, let's just take what we can while we've got it.
Take the next one. I mean, they're all much of a muchness, those 3 or 4. None of them are the finished polish article, and none of them are the top 3, as we've already said. They've already gone. There's a reason those guys went earlier. These guys, you could pick any one of them in those 4 positions, and any of those teams would be like, okay, we've got a decent edge. Yes, we need to work on this, we need to work on that. They've all got their faults, but if you don't get them now, you don't get the next guy off the list because the next one off the list is like, he might be a rotational piece. You don't, you want an edge rusher to be, in and gone. These guys are the last of the reasonable ones that you want to spend draft capital on.
I think bar the Cowboys pick of a defensive end, all of those have the ability to learn the game whilst the teams that they've been picked because of the players around them. And I think that's going to be the biggest help for those. I mean, you look at obviously the Eagles, obviously it's Jalen Carter and they can just put things around him. The Chargers, they do need pieces, aren't they? I mean, probably, like I said, it probably was more of an O-line pick than a defensive end. But again, they've got pieces on that D-line which can help him. And I think the Steelers as well. I mean, obviously their main guy is TJ Watt. I know he didn't have a great year last year, but he's their main guy. So to put someone with him will obviously help. And also as well, I think it'll give, for Keldrick Falk, it would give him a massive learning advantage over probably everyone else.
Yeah. I want to say one of the things I want to mention about those again is I absolutely love Akeem Bestador. While you're right, that's a coin flip pick. Which side of the line do they go? I genuinely think, knowing from when Harbaugh was at Michigan, knowing the kind of defense he wants to run, knowing what he wants to with a very powerful, very strong defensive line. Because if you look, that's where the Harbaugh prospects. That's where the best ones came out, even in the draft, and the ones doing the best in the NFL. I really like that Akeem Messador pick to the Chargers because not only does he have people to learn with, I think he fits right into what they want.
Harbaugh's ethos is right there, isn't it? Yeah, I loved it. Also, G5, credit to Toledo. Got to talk about that. Emmanuel and McNeil Warren. It's a step up, and it's going to be a step up for the guy to go from Toledo and playing and Mac and stuff like that. He had some great games against SEC, opponents. However, this is going to be week in, week out, a massive step up for him. However, first one off the board, and as Nick mentioned on the podcast last week, probably the only G5 guy that he drafted in his big board already. You know, he's good enough to be in there as the third best safety on this draft.
Yeah. There are plenty of G5 names that are very, very good names that will come through the draft. One of my favourites, and I'm really looking forward to seeing, is when the Dame Tucker goes, obviously. Mac defensive player, basically Mac defensive player of the year last year, led the Mac in sacks, absolute beast, but he's so far from the finished product. But McNeil Warren, seeing that getting that G5 representation in early in the draft, mid first round, and look, just coming from a college perspective, how good that is for Toledo in terms of recruitment, in terms of getting people in the building, and just the kind of the light and the spotlight that does put on the program. Having those kind of prospects really, really helps a G5 program.
However, I do want to talk about, you know, as Tom mentioned, what Ollie, you know, said about the fact that he went for McNeil Warren over Tiedemann. Tiedemann's shown that he is flexible enough because he played free safety at Purdue, and then completely changed to play differently at his last season at Oregon. So he's shown that flexibility. So I've got a feeling that it might be the other way around. I think Tiedemann might go to Vikings because he fits the Flores mentality of this flexible. We can put him here. He balled out at Purdue, went to Oregon, balled out in a completely different style of safety that they asked him to play. So I think he's got that. So that's what I think. It might be the other way around. I think Tiedemann to me just feels a bit more Minnesota-y than Panthers.
Yeah.
And the Vikings would love a white DB.
Yeah, true.
I mean, he's gonna he'll deal well a lot better in that cold. But I will make the one quick one. I think
They'll have a white. They'll have a white. What do you call it? Replacing a white.
Yeah. One in, one out.
I will just make a quick comment on the 17th pick. I think that's a solid pick.
He is Lions through and through, Monroe. He's a beast of a character. He's a mauler. He's a fighter. He's gritty. He's annoying. He's bite your ankles. He's pain in the ass. He's typical Lion.
My only thing on it would be, with Monroe Freeling only having played actually a year at tackle as a starter, and knowing Brad Holmes and his bloody roll pride thing, I put money on it being Caden Proctor just because he loves a pick from Alabama.
Yeah.
But I do. I mean, Sam and Gary, you guys can vouch for. Like, I was so high on Spencer Fano a couple of weeks ago when we were doing offensive linemen. I love the guy despite his lower frame. But I was so enamored by everything that Monroe Freeling became in this year. Because I remember watching him in the playoffs at the end of the 24 season and thinking, God, he's terrible.
Well, he's not great, is he? He's a big lad, but he's not that good. Oh,
yeah. You can kind of tell it's his first game playing at starter, especially at the SEC, and you're in the playoffs. And then watching him this year, he's not just big, he's not just got the size, he's not just got the strength. He's a mover, and his head's always up looking for the net. Best way I can describe it is he's like a robot in the sense, like he'll destroy someone and then his head is up on the next thing. Just gonna go and destroy.
Where's the next one? Yeah.
Where's the next thing to destroy? And I don't know. Pair him with Penei Sewell would be.
See, I think Caden Proctor. I know, obviously, you picked Brandon Cisse, the cornerback for the Browns, but I think Caden Proctor could go there for sure.
Yeah.
Because they need O-line help as well.
Oh, I know. It should have been anybody other than that cornerback, because basically that pick was just such a whiff. It should have been any of the offensive tackles who are going to come off the board in the next, 5 or 6 picks. It should have been any of those. I mean, it was only afterwards it was just like, why have I picked a cornerback there when this guy's sitting right here? And the guy who I should have picked at 24, you picked at 25.
And it's the only other one as well that I think is interesting. That I think it's a good pick, but I also think that they could go someone else. Is with the Eagles. I don't know what it is. Cassius Howe, I think he'd be a good pick for the Eagles. I just think the Eagles will get Max Ionitro. I don't know what it is. Like I just like some big physical freak that like would develop into, a beast. Have we seen that before? Of course we've seen it before. We've seen it before with what's his name? The Australian Mailata, Jordan
Yeah,
Mailata.
yeah.
He never played, and then look at him now. So
Yeah. Yeah, he's got an Eagles feel to him as well, doesn't he? He
yeah,
does. Yeah. Mm.
All right.
But nailed the name as well, though. Well in.
cheers. Thank you.
Yeah. I still stand by it's Ian Atcher, which
Yeah, but
again,
you just can't help the city aspect coming through there. That's
it's
why.
not that. I just think everything sounds more interesting in a Yorkshire accent, Ian Atcher. So see me. Right, ready for a last run? See it out.
Yeah.
I have to do it one more time.
So
You got to wait for that
Right,
last
there we
little
go.
bit.
with the
Oh.
25th pick in the AAW mock draft, the Chicago Bears are selecting Caleb Lomu, offensive tackle out of Utah. With the Bears already investing in the O-line to protect Caleb Williams after a great season, adding to this and drafting a true left tackle makes sense for the Bears. Lomu brings smooth pass protection, movement skills, and in an offense expected to lean on timing, spacing, quarterback comfort under Ben Johnson. Lomu's ability to handle speed rushes and keep the pocket clean fits exactly what sort of system that they need.
Lovely.
Yeah.
On
Which is why I
to
should have picked him.
26. On to
And
26.
26, also me, on behalf of Ollie. The Bills will be selecting linebacker Anthony Hill out of Texas. He said that he could have gone with the other linebacker out of Georgia. His name escapes me. What's his name?
CJ
Flex.
Allen.
CJ Hall.
Yes. Yeah, yes. Yeah, exactly.
It's a good job. Good job one of the college guys got that right.
Yeah. Is it CJ Allen?
CJ Allen, yeah.
CJ
Yeah,
Allen,
CJ
yeah,
Allen,
sorry.
that's it, exactly. But he said he's gone with the upside pick, better athletic profile, and the Bills get a linebacker, which is a big need for them. So
Yeah.
Lovely. With the 27th pick in the AAW draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Omar Cooper Jr., wide receiver, Indiana. There is no surprise that the 49ers need to add some serious talent into the receiver room. Jennings has gone, Pearsall never delivered on his potential, and Ayuk is AWOL. So even with the addition of Mike Evans, the 49ers need to add quality in this draft. Omar Cooper Jr. is the best receiver in the class after the big three, and this would be a great addition to the 49ers receiving core. Off to Sam. Close us out, Sam.
Yeah, so with the 28th pick, the Houston Texans take Peter Woods, defensive, the tackle. He's in defensive interior lineman
Interior defensive lineman. Yeah.
from Clemson. This was a difficult one because I really wanted that. I really think that they'll be looking at Anthony Hill as a pick. I think when we did this, I think Peter Woods was the right pick just to add to that monster edges that they have and just make that D line crazy. And I think what's come out more recently, I think, is really worried the Houston Texans and have basically gone, yeah, we're not going with this guy. So I think there's a lot of upside with Peter Woods, but I think he's one of those where I think the Texans could take a risk because of the fact they've got two elite defensive ends, but I think he's too much of a risk, and I think that's what's going to make him drop. So back when we did this, he was the right pick. I think he was perfect for the team. But I think since what's come out with the recent sort of tape and that, I think they've gone off. And I think that's kind of why I went with him at the time, was just because of the fact that he looked like he would fit in with them. But now obviously it's hard to take that back.
Yeah. Chapman at 29 is picking Kenyon Sadiq, tight end from Oregon for the Kansas City Chiefs. Kian,
Steal.
Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, so at pick 30, obviously the guy in the Broncos trade for Jalen Waddle. I've got the Dolphins taking Max Iheanacho. I think that's how we say it. We'll just go with it. I've got them taking Max at pick 30 out of Arizona State. Obviously with the earlier pick at pick 11, we addressed wide receiver with Mekhi Lemon. I think ultimately now it's about protecting Malik Willis. And who better to do it? Well, I say who better to do it with. We don't really know because Max hasn't played football for very long. Obviously, it's really raw. He's only played football for 4 to 5 years, but he is like an absolute freak. He's 6'6", 300 plus pounds. Shouldn't move how he does for that size. And even more concerning, he used to play football before. Well, he used to play our football before he played American football. I'd love to know what position he was because being that size, I don't understand.
Goalkeeper.
So it'd be too big to be a goalie.
Striker.
It'd be too slow. I was gonna say. Big old target man, but
Good
yeah,
old
yeah.
target man up top. Yeah.
absolutely
It'd
ridiculous.
be like the beast that used to play.
I
What's
was
the
going to say
football goal?
he'd be like Akin Fenwar, but like
Akin Fenwar, yeah.
100 pounds heavier. Like,
No, I've
Just
and
bench press the whole
and about-
team.
and about a foot taller.
yeah.
Yeah.
listen. I reckon you stick him at centre back. Try running past him. He'll knock you. And
Yeah.
Stick him a centre midfield and just have him just beat people
Right.
up. Anyway,
right, we will get on to this. But have you ever played? Like, those of you played five-a-side. Every single one of us has gone against someone like that. And I tell you what, right? You're always playing against the guy who definitely had trials at Man United, or definitely had trials at West. You know all that. And then you've got the big guy who's smoked a 20 deck just off the side.
yeah,
He's the best on the team.
yeah. Run
He's
rings
almost
on
always
everybody.
the best on
Yep.
the team. And he's the one you try and avoid because not only has he somehow got the best technical ability, he hits you, you're crying for your mum.
And you're going home. It's just like taking your ball and going home. Yeah.
Gary,
Right.
pick for Nick, pick for yourself.
Pick for Nick.
Bring us home.
Yeah. Right, bringing it home. So number 31 pick, the Patriots are taking Casey Concepcion. Patriots need a receiver. Patriots need help. So Drake May, they're way ahead of the curve of where they should be. I think they definitely overachieved this year. They took advantage of down years in the AFC. I think Tom, you'll agree that Chiefs should not be picking where they are because it's an anomaly year. So they take advantage here and upgrade their receiving core. Obviously, this, as mentioned, this pick was done a few weeks back. Now there's a massive amount of AJ Brown rumors that seem AJ Brown to the Patriots, so this pick may or may not be what actually happens. As Nick sort of mentions here, if he's drafting this again today, he's not taking Concepcion here, he's taking Blake Miller, which makes a lot more sense considering the rumors. And then to close it out, the reigning Super Bowl champions, reigning world champions, the Seattle Seahawks take Avion Terrell, cornerback out of Clemson, best player available on the board, a really plug and play, ready to go NFL cornerback. The Seahawks are rebuilding that defense. That defense was mega last year. It was the reason they got to the Super Bowl, the reason they walked away with the Super Bowl. And this just strengthens the grip that they potentially have on the NFC West and the NFC in general, and maybe a repeat.
You don't think they go Colton Hood instead?
Nick would probably go Colton Hood. Nick has a bit of he does love Colton Hood as a safety. They probably would and they probably should, but it's the Seahawks and I didn't want to. And Terrell is
you don't want to
there.
make them that much better.
I've got to take a certain aspect.
It's the same reason why the Rams didn't take a wide receiver at 13 because Chapman's not going to give them obviously offensive lineman helps as well, but he's not going to pick. Yeah, he's not going to pick a wide receiver.
I mean, I couldn't have made it more obvious for Chapman as well. It's like, oh yeah, we need a wide receiver. Yeah, wide receiver. George Tyson, Spencer Barno. Oh, okay,
right.
You also need a right tackle, to be fair, because Rob Havenstein retired.
We do. I mean, we've got McClendon there, but
that's why I'm so glad the person picking for my team just had no reason to mess about with it. There was nothing you could gain from messing up the Lions.
Yeah, I wasn't going to just hate on the Lions for no reason.
What was it? There was nothing you could gain, so there was no point. Whereas obviously some other picks, there were definitely incentives to nudge someone in the correct direction.
I really want to know Gary's thoughts on the 49ers pick Omar Cooper. I don't think it's going to happen. So
No, it won't happen. It should not. It should not happen. I mean, this was picked again, as we kept mentioning. This pick was done a while ago. We've subsequently got Mike Evans and Christian Kirk. We do not need another big body Mike Evans 2.0, which is basically what Mark Cooper Jr. is. We need. I mean, I was going to say Max Yacho was probably going to be my pick to sit behind Trent to learn. Now that Trent's extended for 2 years, interesting. It gives us a bit more of an option. So this pick, I expect to stay up until 4:30 in the morning and see the 49ers trade out at the bottom of the first. See if they can get somebody trading in, shop it to the Cardinals, shop it to the Jets, somebody like that, because we're missing picks later on. We've only got 6 picks this whole draft. We need a few more. We need as I mentioned about the Jets earlier, and we mentioned about the Titans. You'll get O-line strength second and third round. There's some good, sensible, day 2 players out there. We just don't have the picks to do it. So I think that's a trade potential. Should be annoying because we'll all be staying up until 4:30 just to see us trade out at 27. But that's what I actually see happening. I do not see that pick happening now that the free agency moves have happened the way they have.
I think the Texans also trade out.
Yeah. I do also think the Seattle trade out. They've got very limited picks, and if they're wanting to do that sort of semi-rebuild, I have a feeling that they might trade out. And they, as much as Avion Terrell would probably be a good pick, I think they could get him in the early second round. So, if they did want to go down that route, I actually think that they might try and drop down and then take Jadarian Price, because they need that second running back now. So
and it's interesting. We talk about Jadarian Price, and Nick mentioned it when he was talking about, Jeremiah Love. Jadarian Price is the second best running back coming out of the draft, but he's so far second best to the guy he shared the backfield with. That just shows you how far ahead Jeremiah Love is from all the other running backs, but also it's not really a great running back draft. Their bodies you'll fill up in day 2 and 3, but you're not giving anybody.
They only have a round 1, the last pick in round 1, the last pick in round 2, and the last pick in round 3, and then a round 6 pick. That's all they've got.
That's all they've got. So the Niners have only got. I think we don't have a second round pick. I think we got a first and we got a first and a second, and then a fourth. So we need, and we always hit on the third round. So we need to package some of the stuff or get back out
with
of
a
there.
kicker.
And probably we'll go get a punter this time.
I agree with you with the Kenya Sadiq thing being an absolute steal. I don't think he's going to be there. Obviously not.
Nick would have taken him much earlier on. Remember
100%.
He's got Broncos written all over it to me.
I think the Chiefs go and pick. I want them to go and pick Denzel Boston at 29. So.
Now we come out. Do you see the Chiefs taking a swing at the Cardinals 3 pick?
Oh yeah, I think they try and trade into the top 5, and I think the Cardinals. I know the Cardinals have received calls anyway because I've seen it all over the Chiefs news everywhere. Yeah. Whether they actually do it or not, I don't know, but I think they're trying to get in to get one of those edge rushers. So.
That's what I was just going to say. If you do jump up, do you reckon it's David Bailey you're looking at?
Yeah, it's David Bailey or
Arvell Reese. Depends which one the Jets don't take.
Yeah.
That's
basically,
the way I'd
whichever one the Jets don't take, the Chiefs would take for sure.
Yeah.
Right. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I've been looking at that much random draft stuff these last few days. I don't some of those specific. Did I read right that the Chiefs have as good as come out though and said that a trade up is not really on the cards?
The Rams have said it.
I
think a lot of teams have said it because
a lot of teams have said it because there's. So go on, Sam.
Yeah, they don't want to. They want to be able to get the best deal possible. So by saying that they are actively looking to trade up, it then gives teams above them the ability to then go, well, you're going to have to give us more then if you really, really want to trade up.
Well, you want to trade up, you'll have to give your first and your second and this.
Yeah. So I think a lot of teams are now saying that they're not trading up because they're happy with the picks that they've got. I think it'll solely depend on who comes in with the best offer for that Cardinals pick. Yeah. I do think the Chiefs will, I think they are more inclined to jump up to that 3rd pick if Arvell Reese is available, personally, just because of his
His-
versatility in that
yeah.
position. He can be just a solely linebacker, or he can be the edge rusher. I think he can do both jobs, and I think it feels like that's more of a Chiefsy thing. But I also
I would
think
agree.
that,
I'd agree. But would want that sort of guy for sure.
yeah,
Versatility-wise.
but
But when's the next time the Chiefs are going to be picking that high?
Yeah.
It shouldn't be for the next 4 years, right?
No.
So if they're there and they can go right here, you can have our ninth, you'll have our pick 9 and a third
Yeah, maybe
for
pick
your
40 or something. Yeah.
something like that, and you keep your late first rounder,
Yeah.
but then ship that one and go here, have that and that. They've got to take a swing at it because they won't be picking that high, or they shouldn't be picking
They
that
shouldn't
high
be.
for a while.
Theoretically, they shouldn't be. I hope so.
Yeah, but then again,
But
you
I
have
do-
got half a season Justin Fields.
You
But I
say
do-
that, but Mahomes is going to be back week 1 going, I'm telling you. So.
I do think as good as
Andy Reid
obviously
say
being able
Justin Fields is a starting QB, mate.
as
Starting
good as it
caliber,
would
sorry,
be
starting caliber QB.
to trade up into that third pick, I still think the sensible thing would be to keep your picks because you need a cornerback. I think if you're looking at potentially using that pick to get up to Reese and potentially having to give away more in the later picks, I would rather take the best cornerback and know that you've got an elite cornerback. Most likely an elite
cornerbacks
cornerback.
available at 29 though for them.
Yeah,
but Mansour Delane he's going to be so good.
Yeah,
I suppose.
yeah, 100%. But the Chiefs have also proven, and this will just kind of close off, I guess, that they can develop late round cornerbacks to be elite. So, look at Jalen Watson was a 7th round pick, and then he got paid a boatload by the Rams. So,
yeah.
Thank you for him, by the way.
You're welcome, man.
Just what we needed to sort
basically
out
the Chiefs. Yeah, the Chiefs cornerback. Like, there you go.
Just package them all up, send them to LA. I just think there's a number of picks here that we've all talked about that. Yes, we all were very good because Fletch cracked the whip and we all went, here's our draft picks. Sorry, boss. I think now, obviously, as you do with drafts, you go through your mock draft 1, 2, whatever else. We're probably all of us are on mock draft 3.7 or whatever it is by now. Lots of things would have changed since we put these ones in.
3.7? How, I'm going to draft closer to 370, to be honest with you.
I was talking in sort of binary, not binary. Yeah. Logarithmic scale there, isn't it? But so lots of these would have been moved. Lots of these picks wouldn't, and probably if we did them today, we wouldn't pick these players at these positions. I certainly wouldn't pick a cornerback at 24.
Yeah. Well, the one time you all decide to actually play ball and do what you're told is this one time. Brilliant. Thanks. So yeah, obviously a lot's changed. We did that at the start of the month. A lot of things have changed. Information has changed. And do you know what? As is always the case with every draft, tomorrow everyone's information's going to change again. And then on Thursday we'll wake up and there'll be a new 5th overall pick that's definitely going to get taken 5th or 4th overall that then falls into the 2nd round, a la Will Levis a couple of years ago.
Or there'll be some crazy trade like the Bengals just decide to throw up that crazy trade all of a sudden.
This is it. I can't wait for it to actually get to the draft and to stop seeing all this stuff. We're like, oh, it's the team going to trade up for this. Just like, can we?
Yeah,
I still reckon there'll definitely be draft day trades happening.
There will be.
Yeah.
But let's just get it on. Also, we're all going to be joining Fletch. So I don't know if you're about to jump on there, but there's a show going on the Thursday night as well, right? Thursday night, Friday morning, our time, from Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover, a friend of the network. We'll all be jumping in and out of that, or are we doing it on our network? I'm a bit confused about what's happening Thursday. It's a long way away.
Thursday night, yeah. So I was going to say Thursday night, we are doing a collaborative live stream with the lads over at Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover. Very good friends of the network. I think that was the prize that we all got for Tom winning Mastermind. I'm not sure.
Well done, Tom.
Appreciate it.
So we'll be doing a collaborative live stream with them. YouTube-wise, it will be going out. Well, stream-wise, it will be going out on their YouTube channel, on their Twitter channel, and on our YouTube channel. So they've split it into 3 different feeds. We don't pay for Twitter Premium, so it doesn't go on our Twitter. So, but it will be going out on our YouTube channel. So if you are subscribed to YouTube, head over there on Thursday night. It'll start at 1:45 in the morning, about 15 minutes before the draft is due to start, and we'll go on until after the last pick. It'll be Joe and Byron with us all night, and then a rotating cast of AAW people. I'll be on for a good chunk of the night. I haven't filled this entire goddamn book for nothing. This is gonna be that's gonna be absolutely ruined by the end of the night. But we'll have rotating cast of guests hopefully going on through there from the AEW as well. Follow us on social media. Head to the links in the description of the episode to find us. Obviously, we'll be tweeting about it, Instagram, whatever in about it in between now and the time with all the relevant links. Head to the YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube if you're not already, and everything will come up for you. But it should be a really, really, really good night and a lot of fun. I hope it should be.
Drama. A lot of drama. How many
Um,
times are we all watching draft day on Thursday before we actually kick off? I mean,
A few times, yeah.
I might watch it for the first ever time.
go
all
on,
the way
Sam.
through.
Lean in and watch it for the.
Well,
If you could get to
we'll
the
be
end.
doing. Unfortunately, we'll be doing the. Well, not unfortunately. It's very fortunate. We'll be doing the Fantasy Den on the Thursday night, so we'll be doing that
Interesting.
first. Then I'll put draft day on straight after, and
Yeah.
then I'll be just in time for draft day.
Get in.
If I can find
We're talking Jeremiah Love, 101 in Dynasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, right, before we go, head to the links in the description of the episode. If you are on whatever feed you are on, there will be links to follow the Hurdle of the Line, Fantasy Den, College Football UK, Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Please go and support the rest of the AAW podcasts. You've heard the guests from every, one of the hosts from every single one. Get involved with the network. Follow us on social media. Subscribe to the YouTube. And remember, Vontae Mack, no matter what.